Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to Restore from the Inside Out Ministries. I want to first give honor to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who is worthy to be praised from the rising of the sun until the going down of the same. Today we're going to come to you from the book of Genesis, Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. And it reads for your hearing, "But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring about it as it is this day, to save many people alive." Here we're going to talk about a young man named Joseph. Joseph was a favorite of his father. Joseph's father made him a coat of many colors. His father was Jacob. Jacob had married a young woman named Rachel, whom he loved. Rachel died, and now he's taken on Joseph as his favorite child, meaning Jacob has other children. And of course, this makes the other children jealous. And in their jealousy, they took Joseph's coat of many colors, what made him stood out. And just like us, when we feel like we're doing what God has called us to do, we're praying, we're meditating, following after God, we are being a favored child of God. And there is sometimes jealousy. Favor ain't fair. So in other words, Joseph's brother takes his coat, kill an animal, put blood on it, throws Joseph in a pit, and he takes that coat back to the father and tell the father that Joseph had died. Oh, Jacob had a hard time with that because he loved that child, because that was the closest thing to his wife who had died, Rachel. In the meantime, they're selling Joseph off into Egypt to the Midianites. And Joseph now dealing with his brothers who have meant this evil intentions toward him, evil deeds. Now he's meeting up with Potiphar. He's sold off into slavery in the house of Potiphar, and Potiphar's wife lies on him, saying he tried to take her, and more or less he tried to rape her, and she keeps his coat as evidence. Didn't the boy steal his coat over there and took it to the father as evidence that he had died? So now he's being thrown into jail, in the lower parts of the jail. But through all of this, Joseph still did the work of the Lord, had dreams. He interpreted those dreams. And that's another thing. Over in Genesis, Joseph had a dream. And in that dream, the interpretation was that Joseph was going to reign over his brothers one day. And they did not like that. And his father did not like that. But it came true, because Joseph being sold off into Egypt is that he ends up in this prison. He interprets dream for a butler and a baker. And he said to them, "Don't forget me down here. Let them know that I'm not down here for my own reasons. I was sold off here, put in this prison because of lies." Have you ever felt like that? Every time you turn around, someone is lying on you. Well, when your faith is tested, endurance grows. And in this set of scriptures, you're going to find divine providence and forgiveness. What is the divine providence? God is going to use your situation that other people might be saved. Because if they see you going through all of what you're going through and you're continuing to serve this God, they're going to say, "Whoa, why wouldn't I serve a God like that?" What is the forgiveness? He said to his brothers, now that in this chapter here, Genesis 50, see, the brothers have come to Egypt because they've run out of food over where they were in Canaan. And now they're over here. They don't know it's Joseph. And Joseph is the one who's going to sell them food, because now he's second in charge. He said, "Don't you be afraid." Once they realize who he is, don't be afraid. What you meant for evil, God turned it around for my good. Genesis 39:2, Genesis 39:21, Genesis 39:23. It says, and the Lord was with Joseph. God was in this thing to use this thing, that what they meant for evil, what people means for evil, because you're favored by God, he's going to turn it around for your good. So you hold on. Don't give up. Doesn't matter what's going on in and around you. This is also a verse where Joseph reassures his brothers that despite your evil intentions toward me and to harm me, God turned it around for my good. Also in this verse, it allows us to see that Joseph's understanding of his journey from slavery to power in Egypt was a part of God's plan to save many people alive. Because again, there was a famine, but he's going to use your life that others see Christ in you, that he's going to save people alive, that let your light so shine that men see your good works that will glorify the Father. So don't let your things that are happening towards you make you lose out on what God has for you. So there is hope and redemption. There's encouragement to believers to trust God's ability to bring you through difficult situations, even through your good.